else on here and do that whole three-stream thing that they host demo.
Well, I'm recording right now, Meat.
All right. Are you? Is my picture looking blurry on your side?
Nah, maybe a little bit, not much.
Okay, just a little bit pixelated compared to my own, but that just must be the stream.
It's probably the stream, and who knows what else is going on.
Yeah. It's
Eh,
technology, right?
yeah, it's technology.
Uh,
Well, Meat, you want to say howdy to the folks out there?
oh yeah, you got to say howdy to the folks out there. 'Cause, last year about this time we did a video cast also.
Well, this time we're separated by, what, 3,000 miles or 2,000 miles, something like that?
1,700 miles, I think. 1,800 miles.
Wow. I decided to
Yeah.
wear my hat for the, give you a little bit of taste of Texas.
Well, I really don't have much that makes me think Minnesota that I could wear.
I guess you didn't get the memo for the funny hat memo.
No, I didn't get that funny hat memo, man. Wish I had.
Well, Meat, a lot of crazy things going on this year, technology wise and whatnot.
All right.
You want to talk about
What
some of the
did
highlights
you?
in your opinion?
Well, we actually should do the intro.
Okay,
You know. So, you cool?
sure.
All right. Welcome to Return of Whatever. I'm Amit Dedhia.
And I'm
And
Herbert Midgley. How y'all doing?
you know, last year we did a video cast, and we were there locally. This year we decided to make technology work for us.
Yeah, what do you say? We're 2,000, 1,700 miles away.
I think about 1,700 miles away. At least last time I drove it, it was
Golly,
1,700 miles.
golly, that's a long trek.
Oh yeah, way too long, really.
Well, I guess we'll have this be kind of a special end of the year review on educational technology and the technologies that's gone on this year. And as every year, there's always so many different technologies that happen.
Yeah. Every year there's always huge new things, and so much stuff gets developed. It's amazing how far we've come in a year.
Definitely.
Think about it. A year ago, 90% of the websites out there didn't know what Ajax was.
That's true. And Ajax, the Web 2.0 is really popping up. And you know what? It's just amazing what you can do now, and people just take it for granted all these type of applications that you can actually do on the web now.
Oh yeah. It's amazing, and it's amazing that there's all this new stuff out there. But it's more amazing how a lot of businesses don't realize that you can do that kind of stuff out now. I mean, people who they're so used to the clunky old technologies that they don't think about having forms autofill themselves. You know, that kind of cool stuff. It makes me kind of crazed because I always see people talk about, well, I want this feature, and then I want this feature to, to automatically send me emails anytime somebody registers on my site. Like, okay, why do you want that email sent to you? Well, that way I can keep a tabulation of it. Well, why not just have the site keep a tabulation for you? You know? But,
That would make sense to me.
yeah. But, it's really amazing to me how big usability has gotten in the last year. More people are thinking about how, we know we can do this. Let's make it as easy for them to do as possible.
I'm trying to block you, mate.
Well, since on my screen you're in a completely different location, uh, you aren't really blocking me at all.
Oh, okay. I don't know how this is going to turn out. And actually, we just downloaded a demo of this product. I think it's going to have some type of advertising at the end of it, but at the bottom of it. But let's just see how this thing works. And again, this is the power of the internet. Like 2 minutes ago, we say, well, I wonder if we do a video conference. Yeah, we can. Let's try it out and see what happens.
Yeah,
Well,
so I was upset that they didn't have it integrated into like iMovie, or with GarageBand they've got the whole podcast set up integrated now. It kind of saddens me, but what can you do?
yeah, that would be cool if it was like that.
Yeah,
Well,
let's look forward to the next release, right?
well, heck, 1 year away is not that far away, really, in reality, of all
Mm-hmm.
these things. Well, one of the big things that I actually kind of talked about, I guess probably in February range, maybe even March, even January, March for sure, was the YouTube phenomenon. Now everybody knows what YouTube is,
Yeah, you have to be living under a rock to not know what YouTube is,
and
and you have to be living under a rock if you haven't seen Herb's films on YouTube.
well, you got some on there as well, didn't you?
Well, I got one out there right now, but I got a couple that are in the queue, just trying to get the soundtracks up and done.
And
Like,
I really thought the like your quality that you were able to upload it at looked really good to me.
thank you. It's their technology. I mean, I'm amazed on how good the technology after they compress it for you, how good it comes out.
And I think the one that I mentioned to you, I guess you probably used that one was a CD quality size on when you export from iMovie.
I'm sorry.
The CD quality size, that was the one that you used. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think I used CD or DVD quality side. I used something like the middle range on compressing. So I don't remember exactly which one we used.
Well, you have to find
That particular instance.
between getting going over 100 megs and quality size. So for the YouTubes, now fortunately Google Video it doesn't matter, but for some reason their codec doesn't look near as good as the YouTube for whatever reason.
Well, now YouTube is part of Google Video, so let's just hope that they increase the space, right?
Think if they would have bought
Protect
YouTube,
video at Google.
if Google would have bought YouTube this time last year, they probably would have got it for a couple million.
I think the founders of YouTube were pretty smart. I think that they would have held out, but they wouldn't have held out for 1.6 billion.
If they would have said, "Here's a half
I
a
think they
billion
probably.
bucks," they would have took it, right? This time
Oh
last
yeah,
year.
I'm sure. Yeah, because I mean these guys came from PayPal, and they saw what happened to PayPal after the .com bust occurred.
Well,
So
on one of the recent things I saw on Dig, the founders of Facebook were offered 1.6 billion from Yahoo, and they turned it down.
that I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea because really nobody's valuing them that high. They are a very frequent site, and they may have some really good revenues coming in, but 1.6 billion takes a lot of time to accrue.
Yeah, we're not talking about million. We're talking about billions of dollars,
Yeah.
man. Crazy. Why doesn't anybody offer to buy HerbertMidgley.com for a quarter billion, $250 for HerbertMidgley.com?
Yeah, and hey, if you buy it from Herbert for a quarter billion, I will. Herb can pay me a basic salary, and I will run your site for you.
I'll even take a picture with me and my cowboy hat on that you can put on the front page.
That's true. That's true. Wow, you are pushing out the whole Texan aspect today.
Yeah,
See, this is what happens when I leave town for a couple years. He goes hardcore Texan.
well, one of the biggest things was and I guess we can talk
So,
about
Herb, are you in?
I'm in Nacogdoches right now.
Hmm?
Well, one of the big things, like after I came back from Europe and seeing the technology over there and seeing the folks over there, when I came back, one of the big realizations I had, I said, I don't have a hat and I ain't got no boots. Why am I telling these people I'm from Texas? I ain't got no hat and I ain't got no boots. So pretty much that week I came back, I got me a hat and I got me some boots and I got me a big belt buckle also.
Wow. So it wasn't the growing up in Texas or living in Texas for many years years after your formative age. It was the going to Europe that said, hey, I need to become a Texan.
Yeehaw!
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was the main reason why I got a hat and got some boots was because of that. And one thing is that we actually did a podcast while I was in London. Dan, I saw Dan online, and I chat with him real quick. Said, "Hey, you want to do a quick 20-minute podcast?" And I was able to use Skype over there, and it sounded clear as a bell. So Skype is another one of those
Nice.
technologies, and up until I think the second week of next month, you can still dial landline phones for free in America with them. And I called one of my friends up recently because I was running out of cell phone minutes. So I said, "Well, let me just call Skype up." Use Skype, and I said, "Hey, I'm talking to you on a computer." And he said, "You're kidding." I said, "No." I said, "This sounds like 10 times better than your cell phone." And I said, "Well, there it is." We've had some problems up and down for podcast purposes, but for calling someone direct on it, I still think Skype has a really it sounds really good to me.
Cool. Well, hey, that brings up a good topic. What technological innovation did you not think was going to happen this year that did?
I honestly we'll have to go back to the YouTube Google video thing. I did not realize that how much that would have blown up. And right now, things like this, like a video that I wanted to see from the 1980s that I haven't. I'll give you a good example. I have not seen Family Man by Daryl Hall and John Oates for umpteen years since probably since it's been on MTV. Typed it into the YouTube and bam, there it was. So dang near any video that you can think of from the '80s, almost any artist that's famous artist, and especially any artist that's made famous that's famous now. If you type their name into Google, I mean sorry, into YouTube, you'll find a video by them, and it really is amazing for a lot of things that you can find that. Also, I think it sells a lot more records potentially because they get to see the artist and say, "Hey, this is actually pretty cool." You email somebody from work or school or whatever, and they go home and check it out and say, "Hey, man, this is awesome, man." And then they say, "Well, maybe I ought to go to iTunes and buy the CD." And also like the stupid things. Everybody's getting finally their 15 minutes of fame as well. That basically anybody with a computer, if you get a MacBook with a built-in eyesight and you go under some decent light, I think we look a little bit shadow, but if we are under some decent light, this thing looks fine. They even got a feature now on YouTube that you can record directly into YouTube.
Oh, really? I haven't even looked at that.
I haven't tried it yet, and I'm not sure if it works with a Mac, but surely it works with a PC. So if you got a camcorder hooked up to your PC, you could just go on YouTube right now, and you can do a video cast. I mean, you could do a video log. You could do a journal every day, and there are people that do that. Again, it's the mentality of being a blogger. Today I got up and fed my cat, and the cat looked at me weird, and the cat walked around in a circle, so I put out different cat food. So it's usually that kind of stuff. But still, somebody might actually want to watch it and listen to it and pay attention to it and or whatever. And anybody, some grandma might like hearing their grandkid talk about feeding their cat or something, I guess.
Well, actually, that's the funny thing is, a lot of the major ones are just the ones you have done it every day and just did it naturally. They may just talk about their cat and run around their. It sparks the curiosity about what somebody else's life could be.
Well, one of the really cool things
Now
for me.
back to that topic.
Oh, let me say one last thing, then I'll let you get that. For me, I can write a song and record it in 30 minutes onto a video camera. Take an iMovie, edit it in 5 minutes. Because if this is me standing there with a guitar, it didn't take any time to edit it. The longest time is crunching it down, and on my Mac on my G4 iBook that takes sometimes up to 20 minutes, depending on how long it is. Sometimes like 15 minutes. Upload it to YouTube, and within an hour and a half, 2 hours for sure, somebody in China can listen to a song that I wrote 32 hours ago. Amazing. I mean, that still just boggles my mind. Somebody from China, and you know what? I get a few hits from people from China. Not a lot, If I spoke Chinese, maybe probably I'd get more. But still, somebody in China with an internet connection could check me out from Nacogdoches, Texas, a whiny emo song, and listen to it. Amazing.
Hmm. That is pretty freaking hot. Well, back to the original topic of hand. I would say that my major, or the major thing that I've seen that's blown up that I didn't expect was the IP phone. You know, when 2 years ago, when I was still in Nacogdoches, I had some buddies. Actually, my predecessor at the job at OIT, he was trying to get everybody to go buy Vonage. I was completely, I completely thought that it was going to go nowhere. And bam, like everybody's got IP phones nowadays. So I am amazed by that and the clarity on those things.
Well, you
Heck, international calls. My parents used to make international calls on a regular basis, um, and they were horrible. I mean, you would barely hear the other side. You always had to yell across the line so people could hear you. Now they use um, some IP service, and it costs them pennies on the dollar for the international calls, and the call. I mean, it is lagged a little bit, but it's not bad at all.
well, I went to Wally World, which is what everybody knows as Walmart probably, and for
Hmm.
24 bucks you can buy a Skype phone. It looks like a cell phone, and it's a USB wire that hooks up to your computer, and you basically talk on it. You can dial on it, and if you want to go computer to computer, you can still do that. But for 24 bucks, and I assume it probably even comes with the Skype software if you don't want to download it. But it doesn't make any sense. If you got broadband, you can download it for you know. But in any case, for 24 bucks, you could pick one. I was meaning to pick one up when I get a little bit more disposable income just for grins. I might pick one up just for fun. And apparently, it looks like it's going to be Skype's going to go up. It's free right now to call landlines in America, but after the second week, it's going to be 15 bucks a year to call America anywhere in America, unlimited,
Wow.
unlimited.
And do you get a phone number with that, or?
I guess you do. They can obviously call you up on the Skype, and if you don't get it like when it's 30 bucks a month, I think that's like the introductory fee, but it's 30 bucks a year for. Or if you want to do this, you do 2.1 cents a minute,
Wow.
which ain't too bad. And they got other places you can call it. You can call it like London for 5 cents a minute or for 4 cents a minute or something like that. Which is really amazing. And the cool thing is, like, if you got like if someone has a computer, I always just tell folks, man, just get a camcorder and put a camcorder there and just call your homeboy up in front of the computer. But I understand the grandma technology. If grandma can't do it, you might want to call the landline. But anybody that's tech savvy, like me and you, we could do this no problem at all. But
Hmm.
but still, think about that. 24 bucks for something that looks like that's basically a phone. Plug it into USB, turn on Skype, and I assume it probably work with Gizmo and anything else, Vonage probably as well. If it's all it is a microphone and a speaker.
Well, I'm sure that there's a little more involved in that. I've heard of different types of Skype phones. Some of them I've heard that you don't even have to hook it up to a computer. You just have to hook them up. You have to have a wireless network or a wired network somewhere you can hook it directly into. So,
Well, I mean the
but
ghetto way of doing it is just a headphones and a microphone that's either built into your computer or a $5 microphone you get at the Radio Shack or anywhere basically.
hmm, yeah, yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean
It's amazing. It's
like
amazing.
5 years from now, I think that voice over IP, is going to be just dominate everywhere, and probably even the regular telemarketer, the telecommunication companies are probably going to use it instead of the wired phones they have. Within 10 years, I bet for sure the big phone companies will probably use that. Awesome. Well, what else, Amit?
What else is up? Oh, wow, there's all kinds of new things up. Uh, but that you've got yourself your brand new MacBook. Is it a MacBook Pro or a MacBook?
Just a MacBook, and I think it's a couple months older than your MacBook.
It's unfortunate, man. I always got to be a step above you, right?
I know.
Just a step.
I wonder how much faster. I wonder how much faster because this thing crunches iMovies like something on my iBook G4 that would take 20 minutes. It'd take about 5 minutes on this thing. So I'm curious how fast it crunch it on yours.
This is nothing to my desktop, my iMac, but it can crunch pretty quickly. Definitely can crunch something pretty quickly.
How much RAM did you get in that puppy?
Question. I think 2 gigs,
2 gigs.
maybe a gig.
Yeah, I only got a gig on this one, and I think that's one of the problems. On if I can get it up to another gig, that might help out a bit, of course.
No, it's only a gig of RAM.
Gig RAM.
But honestly, since I'm using this as a travel machine, a gig's been fine for me. I mean, heck, I play World of Warcraft on it nightly now.
Do you
If
use
you
the
want
Mac?
to play World of Warcraft with me, you can get on Cenarian Circle and be an Alliance member. My character name is Fragger, Bragggar. I try to get on there at least 2 or 3 times a week right now.
And
Just started it again.
give
Started in
Fragger
South Park.
give Fragger
Yep,
some
I'm a bragger.
give Bragger some free stuff. Give him like a diamond or something or a shield. I don't know what you guys give him, but I never played World WoW yet. But I did see the South Park episode, so I am familiar
Yeah,
of
you
it.
know who the South Park episode that made me decide? Well, that and my roommate who made me decide I should jump back in for a little bit and join the online sensation.
Well, are you playing on the Mac side or PC side?
On the Mac side, of course. It's one
Wow.
of the few games you can play on the Mac. Play with my MacBook actually a lot. I mean, there's some things you have to know, like you have to use the Apple Click a lot, and there's that cool little thing with the trackpad where if you hold, use 2 fingers on the trackpad, it actually does different things. It acts like a scroll wheel. I don't know if you've experienced that
Does it
on
work pretty?
yours.
Does it work pretty well?
Yeah, like when I'm just using websites and such, I push one finger down and the other finger to act like a scroll wheel, and it makes it easier to use instead of having to click and get over to the side and click and push down or hit the arrow keys.
Well, let me ask this to me because I just came back from visiting my folks. My sister was there, and she was like saying, I was thinking about trying World of Warcraft. I said, don't do it. She said, well, they got a free download for 10 days. I said, don't do it, man. She said, you can't get hooked on 10 days. I say, man, that's what people on crack say.
Well, it really you have to put it in perspective. All right, if you get hooked, if you get hooked on it, that's a lot of time you aren't spending money on other hobbies. $15 a month, that's 50 cents a day. That's cheaper than playing a game at the arcade every day for a month. So, and you can waste much more time with it. Or as I like to say, it's cheaper than the night at the bar.
Well, $15 ain't bad. Bad if it's something that you love, but I think it's mainly it's not getting a chance to go out and do nothing else. Kind of like how that South Park episode was. So what do we do now? Well, we win. This guy must have no life to get that level.
How does one kill something without a life?
Something without a
Best
life,
line in that show. Uh,
man. Well, it's amazing. My sister gave me a Halo 2 for Christmas, which I know it's like a year behind, and I'm just thinking, I ain't never gonna get a chance to get through that game. I just don't have time to play games as much as I used to. Mainly because I played Dr. Mario, and that's the one game that I can play for 10 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever, and then that's it. So these games are just so just take so much time to get through. I'm like thinking, golly, it's like trying to get through War and Peace, man. The Halo 2 part that I may actually use is if I get some friends over and we do the first person shooter type thing. That I can see being that I can see I can do that because you can just do that as much as you want or as little as you want. And we played around with it a little bit over Christmas just to break it in and whatnot. And I still haven't got Dan. I still haven't got through Battlestar Galactica either. I need to find him that game. Battlestar Galactica. Uh, I can't get past level 1 still. But of course, I don't get a chance to practice. Maybe I can get over it over the holiday. I don't know. I got like 4
Well,
plays I'm working on.
well, there's something I should mention. I haven't been buying any video games recently, but I am really trying my hardest to get a Wii because those games look fun.
Well, it's 350, right?
250.
Is it 250? Are you sure it's 250?
Yeah, only 250.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yep.
Because I talked to SD yesterday, and he's got one, and I thought he said 350.
Yeah.
Um,
No, they're 250.
no, you're right. It is.
They were actually.
You're right. There are two.
More than twice their value on eBay.
Well, he was saying that people were trading them for PS3s.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a better playable experience.
Well, I think what
Actually,
people just don't realize about games. Graphics does not matter. Story in a lot of ways don't matter. It's the gameplay. It's the funness of it. That's what matters.
well, I think story matters because that's part of the gameplay. But yeah, it's the gameplay. I mean, look, it's hilarious how for every PS3 out there, Sony is losing like $400. You know, just on the technology they put into it. No, they aren't selling at all. Where the Wii, everyone that's out there, Nintendo's making $100 on just because they're using the same components they had in their last system. They just innovated a little bit. They decided let's go for a new, different control scheme.
Well,
So,
you
4 million units that are sold out everywhere that they'll have. That's $100 per unit that they made.
well you'd have to admit, Amit, that the GameCube just never went anywhere.
No, I think the GameCube went pretty well. I mean, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. I mean, it had its diehard fan, and honestly, when it comes down to it, if I had to only get one system, and I had a lot of friends that would come over on a regular basis, I'd want it to be a GameCube because that had the most quick and easy to pick up fun games that with multiplayer action. So.
Well, well, if I can find a GameCube for $50, I'll pick one up. The biggest thing I think one of the biggest problems that I think they would have sold a whole lot more if they would have done the DVD format where you could have played DVDs on it.
On which?
On a GameCube. Apparently, the Wii that's not a factor. No one can, but because the thing now, everybody has a DVD player now. I don't think that's as big a factor as it was a couple of years back when the PS2 Xbox battle was going on, and GameCube battle was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can get a DVD player for $30 or $25 or something. No one cares now. But at that time, if you could get a multiple type
you
thing.
For like $20, $20 or $30.
Well, like the big thing with the PS3, right, is that Blu-ray or it's supposed to come with it, and there's still no media out there that use that really. So, there's no incentive to really go out there and I got to have one of these things because there's no movies to watch on it. And
do you really want to support the Blu-ray media format?
Do
you really want to support the Blu-ray media format?
Not at all.
PS3 because that's the cheapest Blu-ray player you can get.
Is it?
Yeah, it's definitely. Because typical Blu-ray players run for $1,000 plus.
Well, I guess there's a handful.
Why I think that Blu-ray is not going to survive.
I guess there's a handful of movies out there on Blu-ray, and for me, I got this regular CTR TV. It's not going to matter. DVD is overkill for the TV that I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just not gonna. A DVD is fine enough. And getting back on our topics about like things that kind of surprise on the technology, is streaming media. I really feel that more and more movies, I'll make a small prediction. One of the big major companies is going to make it where you can watch streaming movies either for free or at a low cost. Or a
Yeah,
company will come out and do that.
I think your prediction has some merit.
Because the whole thing is bandwidth, and then if you can pay for it with advertising, and let's say that there's a movie that was out, and let's say Snakes on a Plane. That would be a good example of a movie that it's going to sell some DVDs. It's going to probably sell a pretty good bit of DVDs. I had not seen it. Have you seen it, Meet?
Have I seen Snakes on a Plane?
Yes.
Are you asking me if I have seen Snakes on a Plane?
Yes. Have you seen Snakes on a Plane?
I have not seen Snakes on a Plane.
I have not either.
But I have a plan. I have this long, drawn-out plan that has to do with Snakes on a Plane. I'll have to tell you about it sometime.
Okay. Well, like that movie there, if they put it on streaming and they put advertising in between, every 10 minutes, put an ad in, they would, you could make money off of that. You could seriously make money off it. I wouldn't think that you would want to do like the blockbuster movies, but like some movie like that, it's like almost brain damage if you don't do something like that. Because I'm guessing,
Yeah, I think you got a good point there.
I'm guessing that movie probably wasn't that good of a movie, or else it would have done a lot better at the box office. But for an internet movie that is free, if you watch the few dumb commercials on it, well, shoot, I'd sit down and watch it. Why not? I ain't got nothing else to do. It don't cost nothing.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's good. But then people eventually would get annoyed by the advertising, and they'd have to figure a way around the advertising model.
Well, if it was streaming though,
Like
you
TVs
really
nowadays,
well, if it was streaming, you couldn't really do much about it.
True, true. But I don't know. But then again, that does bring up the whole idea of the whole web-based TV that's coming out. Or, more and more web shows are out there. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what Undo TV has for us. Heck, I want to be part of Undo TV if I have my choice.
Well, right now, I have 115 videos on YouTube, and next year I'm not sure I'll be able to keep that up, write that many songs, and do that many movies and stuff like that. But it's amazing. This year, last year at this time, I had nothing on YouTube because I didn't even know YouTube existed. Spider-Man, awesome.
The complete collection. Sorry, it was clearly random. I have to plug this one as my advertising. Though I'm not getting paid by him, but 560 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man. One disc.
How much was that?
It was $50.
For how many issues?
Issue of The Amazing Spider-Man.
That's no brainer, man.
560.
That's no brainer. Put it on your laptop. You can watch it all.
I could have found somebody who's.
I mean, that's a no brainer, man. Put it on your laptop and you can read through them all day long, man.
Yep. I mean, they do waste some time, but you know what? It's a good story. And see it from the beginning is kind of neat. So. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. You got over 150 videos out there on YouTube, and are you thinking about trying to do something like join the Undo TV world?
I wouldn't mind if they want to come. I would still like to do. What we're doing right now is cool. I would still love to do a whatever type show again because that was a blast. Just talking about anything from technology to computers to superheroes and it really come to a realization where I'm at right now. There is no public access TV. No one's ever going to put it on. Because they want to do whatever they want to do themselves, which is fine. There's their TV station; they can do whatever they want. With YouTube, I don't have to worry about that. I can get more people watching my stupid videos. You know, I had, you know, like 4,000 people have watched a video that I talked about how to use GarageBand. That means I was able to instruct 4,000 people
About what?
how to use GarageBand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a video on YouTube,
Cool.
and I looked today. It's about 4,000 people that have looked at that video. I'm thinking, man, that's not too shabby. And then that along with on Google Video as well. I was able to help 4,000 people range look at it and say, oh, here's how to use GarageBand a little bit better. Amazing, amazing. I'd have to teach with the technology classes that I have 30 people in a class per semester. That means I really talked about 60 people a year. I mean, to talk to 4,000 people, that's a lot of classes. That's a lot of years. So
Yeah, and apparently you've got 4-star rating for this video.
you found it? Well, that's not too shabby. It's better than my.
All I did is type in how to use. Huh?
Yeah, it's better than my 1-star videos I get for my emo nerd songs.
True. True. People on the internet, their opinions are alike, and everybody's got one.
Everybody's got opinions, and whatever. If you don't want to watch it, guess what? You can turn it to something else. And you know what? It don't cost nothing. If you didn't like it, it didn't cost you nothing but a minute you're hitting the button and clicking on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I also think that's kind of popped up and kind of shot down in some ways is the podcasting realm. When we started doing this, everybody and their brother was doing the podcasting. Go ahead, Meat.
I was going to say, I think that the one thing that I'm actually getting aggravated by with the podcasting thing, and it's humorous I say this while we're doing a video cast, is that so many casts out there do not do audio only format.
Well, I'll be able to convert this down to an audio feed as well. Hopefully, I should be able to do that pretty easily.
Good, because I listen to audio casts at work. I can't listen to video casts at work. I can't listen to video casts while I'm driving. So there need to be more audio casts. But it is amazing how many people were doing podcasts when we started out.
Yeah, it really kind of got down to the big players, like Leo Laporte's over the Tech TV people. They kind of had an audience, and there are some fringe ones that are out there as well. And it is hard, man. It is hard. It's hard to do this. It's hard. The thing for us that was the hardest thing is just getting us all together. That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we don't want to do this.
Most of these other casts, they get sponsorship. I mean, I think out of the 30 casts that I listen to every week, every one of them's got a sponsor. I mean, heck, it really upset me to no end to hear that Microsoft Zune is a sponsor of Dig Nation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were giving the Zune good I guess a good review, which nobody's given the Zune a good review.
Well, I think the device
I didn't think that was cool.
Well, the device itself, I think, is pretty good. It's just the DMC, the digital rights management stuff on it that's not good. Apparently.
Yeah, well, that is it. But you know what? It's such a step backwards with DMC law, or DMCA law, or digital rights management law, whatever. I just hate it. I hate the Zune. I hate the fact that by buying one, you automatically plead guilty to being a music pirate.
Yeah.
I hate that. I thought we had a system where you're innocent until you're proven guilty.
No, no.
Anyway.
I guess not. So, well, the good news. I mean,
is that you can't move your music.
The good news this time next year when we do one of these video casts next year, Meet, we'll say Zune what?
Possibly, but online online experts are touting the Zune now. I mean, I want to say that like 50% of them that I've heard have went on a complete about face about the Zune, and it just upsets me no end.
Well, if Microsoft
But
sends me a
never know.
Zune, I'll try it out and I'll give my honest opinion of it, and I'll say, and they can have it back because I don't want it, but I'll try it out for a month.
Well, the big problem that I have with the Zune is that I have a Mac, and it doesn't work with the Mac.
Like I'll tell you, like when I went to go buy my dad a MP3 player, I didn't buy an iPod. I found a RCA Lyre or something or another, and the reason why I got that one was that he is this drop and drag. I knew he could take a file and drag it into a folder, and he may have to do this to find it, but he can understand how to do that. Putting a CD into iTunes and and doing this and that to it just was too complicated for him. I just knew that. Not that he couldn't learn it, but I just know that if it was something that he never would use it. So I said, well, let me get him a small thing because he doesn't need to carry around 7, 8, 30 gigs of music around. For him, 512 megs is more than enough music he needs to listen to carry around. So that was fine for him. If I did get him one, it would probably been a iPod Shuffle, uh, because that would have been something that he could have probably figured out without too much of a problem. Um, but it's all that digital rights management stuff that this makes it where the iPod, as good as it is, it could be even 100 times better if you have to deal with that digital rights management stuff on it.
Yeah, the digital rights management and all of these devices are kind of iffy, but I don't know. I've been pretty happy with the iTunes store, and I've gotten in the habit of actually buying music on there instead of at the store because it's cheaper usually, and I get what I want easily. So I
Yeah.
don't know. You know what? Shame on you. Shame on you, Herb. 4 years ago, I was a good, upright, upstanding, normal PC person.
Well, let me ask this, Amit. How many viruses have you had? Zero. How much spyware have you had?
Actually, it's funny. My roommate had a huge virus come in the network, right? Um, we got a wireless network here. He had a huge one that like pretty much trashed all of his systems. And I told him, if you use my computer to grab your virus definitions or whatever to try to fix your computer, please do. Don't worry, I'm not going to get it. And he kind of looked at me angrily, and then he had this typical, well, I can play more games on this than you.
Well, guess what? You could boot into
But it was funny.
you could boot into XP and then go back to a computer when you know because like this. I'll say this. I know you care about your games, but if you lost all your game data versus all your work data or personal movie data, which would you rather lose? That's the big thing.
I would say the game data because the game data you can get back to that level. The personal work data and the movie data, well, unless you keep all of your tapes and don't reuse them, yeah, they could kind of go away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And
Well,
plus, all the editing. Oh man, the work on the editing. I think you were right when you said it was like a minute per hour of film,
yeah, that's minimum. That's to make
especially
it
if you
look
want to try to make it good.
that's to make it look okay. If you want to make it look like the bomb, we're talking hours per minute, man. 6, 8 hours a minute. It's nuts. It's nuts. But
Yeah,
it's a
especially
fun
if you're like,
thing. And I'm actually thinking about they're talking about having an MIS in film at SFA, and which is Masters of Independent Study versus a MFA, which in art, which I don't think I couldn't get an MFA in art because I don't have any art background other than the art that I did in high school and whatnot. I don't think they like my ceramic ashtrays that I made back in seventh grade. I couldn't submit them as in my portfolio. I guess I could, but if actually wanted to get in, yes. And this I was trying to show some anger about smoking and blah blah blah. I should take some pictures of some of my ceramic stuff I did back in seventh grade. It's just pretty bad. I got one of them on
Still
my
have
mantle
it
I'm
though?
looking at right now, but
Well,
it's
show the listeners. They're all curious.
oh man, I'll put some pictures up. They don't want to see no horrible looking ashtray that I don't even think I don't smoke, but what I did was I put my finger in it, and I'm guessing that's probably too big for a cigarette. It probably just fall right out. I don't know,
I
but it's
but
definitely
no, that's cool. That's cool.
it's
So I hope
definitely
you do go for the masters if they do have that.
yeah. If they do have that, I can do that. It'd be something fun to. It would be something definitely fun to do. All right, Amit. I guess everybody wants to see it. So here it is. Let me get it into the sunlight. Well, there it is.
All right, that's a little clear on mine. Oh yeah, cool deal. Cool deal.
There it is. Ta da da
See,
da. Ashtray.
when you become big and famous, man, you can eBay that off for charity.
Hey, look, I got my initials on it, so that way when they burn it to kill, I know that was mine. So
Pretty.
yeah, put that on eBay. Horrible seventh grade ashtrays. I don't even think they let them make ashtrays anymore. But back in my day, you can make as many ashtrays as you wanted.
Hey, here's a question because we are rounding up to the new year soon. What are your predictions for next year? I think we did this last year also.
Hmm. Well, I think I say the social networks will reach a pinnacle. Either they'll get better or people are going to stop using them. So like MySpaces and Facebook, I can already see people getting burned out with them right now. I'm getting burned out with them as well. Uh, I say streaming video will definitely get bigger, and I think that's a no-brainer. That's almost like a cop out to just say that. What's some other good technology things? Um, I predict Mac will keep on growing in the market share one way or another. And I'll go out and do a crazy one, and I probably shouldn't even do this. I'll say that perhaps the new Mac OS may work on Intel computers. They actually may sell it, so that if you have an Intel computer, you can just buy a Mac OS, and all your spyware and virus problems won't be there.
That's cool. That's cool. They all sound like reasonable predictions, except for the Apple being on the regular PC.
Yeah, they won't do that.
They always love their hardware. They're a hardware company. Come on.
Yeah.
Um, I uh, I have a couple predictions for next year. I predict that I too will second your prediction that social networking will bottom out because it's like the whole live journal blogosphere when it first came out. It was exciting, it was fresh, it was new, it was podcasting, it was whatever. But now, well, I don't think I can remember the last time I got onto MySpace or Facebook or any of those sites. I mean, some of them had really good ideas, but honestly, none of them lasted for me. You know, but I do think that the social networking sites that are out there are going to start taking a dating aspect because online dating is still one of the highest, sought after things. So that's my thought on the social networking. Technology wise, I think that you know Windows Vista is going to have a poor initial showing, but I think that by the end of the year, they'll have a lot of the kinks ironed out and people will like it because I'm giving it hope. It looks pretty slick, what I've seen. Um, then I see that 10.5 with its new features on the Mac will be freaking awesome. Um, the iPhone, I think, is going to be a big hit. That went enough way too long for it, thankfully. But Macworld is on January 10th.
Yeah, something like that. I could actually go to it if I wasn't
So
too cheap.
if they have a good new device that they announce there, I may birthday present it to myself. Because having that be my birthday the same day. So.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to wait out till then. Other technology-wise, I think that the PS3 and Blu-ray will pretty much bottom out and cause Sony a lot of trouble because of how badly that was done. What else? I guess I have one other prediction. I predict that more people are going to make use of downloadable game content for gamers out there. Because I don't know if you've played on Xbox Live or used the Xbox Live Arcade.
No, I actually haven't.
My roommate uses it a lot, and there are some fantastic games out there. And the fact is, they're so much cheaper, you know, and they're built on idea of playability, like we were talking about earlier. So I'm looking forward to that world. And with the Nintendo Wii and its Wii chucks, or its nunchucks, it's those smaller games that have good playability will find their own. And I guess I should have one crazy prediction like you, right? I predict my crazy prediction be. I predict Herb is going to get married next year, by the end of next year.
Man, that's insane. I think it's more likely that Apple will ship stuff for a PC market than that one. Of course, I guess we could go to India together and meet. If you want to do that.
My parents are begging me to. We'll want to talk about that more offline.
Well, you know what? I'm sure you get snapped up in a second. I'm sure you get picked up in a second over there.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt.
I am pretty sure about that.
Because you can put down do a podcast on your resume thingamajig, and they would say podcast. Woo! That's it.
Yeah, something like that.
The deal is sealed. In America, that's girl repellent. Anywhere else in the world,
right.
You're the man.
Well, I think we're rounding out at about an hour now.
Awesome.
So I think we should cut it short. And I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've a couple months really, since we last got together here. But it's been great to have this cast. And I do want to say thank you all for listening, watching, supporting us, because we do get a kick out of it. And as you know, we've got 70 plus episodes out there, and we want to stick around.
This is technically 75, Amit. This would be technically 75 right
75.
here.
75 episodes. We're rounding up to 100 now.
Yeah.
So I think you listeners out there, please feel free to email any content distributor like Undo TV or Twit Network and see if they can get us on board, because I think we'd be awesome on those shows. Get the exposure that we deserve, right?
Yay. Well, I'll throw this on Google Video hopefully sometime tonight.
Cool deal. Well, anyway, I'm Amit Dedhia.
I'm Herbert Midgley.
And you guys have a great New Year's. Yes, you. Even you, Sean.
Happy New Year's, y'all. Yeehaw. All right, I hit stop.